previously on the last episode of Mass Effect.
Why weren't they made a council race?
The council races have extensive responsibilities. They must provide personnel and ships for the Citadel fleets. They often provide economic aid in times of disaster.
Sometimes you have to bend the law to keep people safe.
I've been with CSEC for 30 years. I've never had to break the law to do my job, not once.
Bullshit.
Yeah, right.
I smell
to
bullshit.
None of your officers are corrupt?
Everything I do falls completely within the bounds of interstellar commerce law.
Sure it
Even
does.
so, many of my clients would prefer their transactions remain undisclosed.
Citadel regulations protect the Keepers against interference during the performance of their tasks.
I wonder
Failure to
why.
comply will result in harsh penalties.
Of course it will.
Keepers
Commander Shepard, Garrus Vicari.
Garrus!
I was the officer in charge of the CSEC investigation into Saren.
Welcome back, my fellow gamers. This is Astrobite Gaming, and today we are back with episode 4 of Mass Effect. Last time we left off where we came up here, we talked to Garrus, we ran around the Citadel, met some people, got to know some people, did some exploration, really fun, really cool, and then we ended it off by coming up here and talking to Garrus. You can see him back there. And now we have a date with this council. I almost said Citadel. We're on the Citadel. We have a date with the council. So let's hop right into it. I always love this area, dude. It's so beautiful.
Be ridiculous. The Volus won't be joining the council.
Like it's...
I'm not so sure. The humans are making a strong push, and you can bet the Volus will be right on their coattails if they succeed.
It could be. Could be.
Sound strategic move. But the Volus? No. The Hanar are likely to be next, then the Elcor.
You may be right, though the Hanar need to lighten up a bit first.
That voice is familiar, but I can't place it.
Understanding them.
It's beautiful in here, dude. The colors, the trees. But it is definitely that Corpo Plaza, like. No windows. You can't see your way out. I mean, you have the windows where the council sits, but no way out, you know, no telling time. And we'll give you a little bit of trees so you don't get totally drained by the bland
I'm waiting to speak with one of the
mechanical atmosphere, and you feel like you have some nature.
Commander.
Kahoku! So there's a weird thing that happens in Mass Effect, and I'm gonna stop saying spoiler warning because it's been out long enough. There is a side mission that you do with
I just want to ask a couple of questions.
with Kahoku, where you have to go rescue him, and you then come across, and I don't understand if they forgot, if they tried to explain it away in something I haven't seen, whatever. My headcanon is that it wasn't really him. But you go to rescue him from Cerberus, and then when you do that, you discover his body, and it specifically gives you the text box. Kahoku's body, he has been killed by Cerberus. Now, I'm paraphrasing, but it says something along that lines. The gist of it is, it says he's dead. Dead. You find his dead body. So how does Kahoku show up in Mass Effect 3 perfectly alive when he's supposed to have died in Mass Effect 1? And I don't understand. I don't understand if it was an oversight, like they were developing the game, they're like, we're gonna have him die, but then they realized their mistake and needed this guy to come back for Mass Effect 3, and we're like, most people aren't even going to pay attention to it. We think most players aren't even going to do that side mission. So for most, it's not going to bother. But like, since I do every side mission, it's just kind of weird that you're like, oh, he's dead, and then he comes back in. I don't think Mass Effect 2 because you're with Cerberus the entire time. But I know Mass Effect 3 he comes back in because he plays a huge role there. And it's weird. I don't know if it was an oversight.
The hearing's already started. Come on.
Or if they're just like, it wasn't really him, but we didn't say it wasn't him.
Some concern, but there is nothing to indicate Saren was involved in any way.
The investigation by Citadel Security turned up no evidence to support your charge of treason.
An eyewitness saw him kill Nihilus in cold blood.
But
we've read the Eden Prime
But that's
reports
hearsay.
The testimony of one traumatized dock worker is hardly compelling proof.
Yeah, and in most judicial settings, it's hearsay. You're not going to be able to bring that and be like, there you go, convict him.
You always seem to be involved when humanity makes false charges against me. And this must be your protege, Commander Shepard, the one who let the beacon get destroyed.
That was you, not me. How did you get involved? I don't want to seem brash, so we're just gonna ask how we got involved.
Eden Prime was top secret. The only way you could know about the beacon was if you were there.
With Nihilus gone, his
and I love how they just ignore that. And it's like, yeah, it was top secret. How did he know? And they're just like, meh.
Expect from a human.
Really? Yeah, you're gonna play a. What would you expect from a human? I mean, look, I don't like humanity in most parts. You know, as a species, not individuals, as a species as a whole. As much as the next person. But I'm not gonna blame them from every ill that's ever happened. I mean,
your species needs to.
At least here. Now
You're
is
not
just.
ready to join the council. You're not even ready.
That's not your. That's not your say.
He has no
you have
right
no
to
right.
say that.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not his decision.
Shepard's admission into the Spectres is not the purpose of this meeting.
This meeting has no purpose. The humans are wasting
I
your
mean,
time, Counselor, and mine.
Saren's hiding behind his position as a Spectre.
Yeah, but
you need to open your eyes.
What we need is evidence.
I mean, I see both sides of
There's
it.
still one outstanding issue. Commander Shepard's
Like,
vision
a lot of people come
may have
into
been triggered
this.
by the
And,
beacon.
are we allowing dreams into
evidence now? How can I defend my innocence against this kind of
I
testimony?
love that line.
I agree. Our judgment must be based on facts and evidence, not wild
I
imaginings
mean, that's
and
understandable.
reckless
You have to think of them as like a Supreme Court. And I've seen a lot of people who give flack to the council. They're like, well, they don't believe you. We presented this. We've come to them. And like, you have to take it from their point of view, right? These guys have to make decisions for trillions, not millions, not billions, trillions of civilians every day, from Asari, Salarian, Turian, humans, to Hanar, to Quarians. Like, they have to make these decisions in mind of everybody. Like, you can't just come to them and be like, hey, this guy's doing bad. Here's some proof, but not a whole bunch. Like, they need concrete, full evidence with undeniable accounts that, yes, he did this before they make a decision. Because if they make a decision, they're not making it for you, for them. They're making it for everybody. Their impact affects everybody around them. Them taking Saren out, if he didn't really do this, which, of course, we know he did, affects everybody. That's one less Spectre that could protect somebody. That's one less agent they have that could go in, do the job when political negotiations get in the way and you just need somebody to cut through, fly under the radar, and do what's necessary. And everybody else could be tied up. That one that you kicked off, if they take it half-heartedly, could be the one that could save that planet or that colony. Like, so, yes, there's more they could have done. But you could have came with more evidence. You could have presented a stronger case, and you have to understand what's at stake for them and how many lives are at stake.
You've made your decision.
Like,
I won't waste my
you
breath.
have to be able to see both sides of it.
The council
And
has
nobody
found
gives
no
enough
evidence
credit
of any
to the
connection between
Asari
Saren and the
counselor here,
Ambassador,
where she's like,
petition to have him disbarred
she
from the
throughout the
Spectres
whole
is
thing
denied.
is
glad to see justice was
on
served.
your side and is willing to understand
This
that
meeting is adjourned.
you may have a point, but she has to take the logical and rational approach to it. And where the Turian's just a dick. I mean,
It was a mistake bringing you into that hearing, Captain. You and Saren have too much history. It made the council question our motives.
they didn't bring anything up of that, Udina. Where do you pull that out of your ass? Like, that's just bias towards friggin' Anderson in the first place.
Tell me about this history between you and Sarah.
Like, no mention of it, and he's just like, whoa, you being there made them uneasy.
We shouldn't talk about
How?
it, but I know what he's like, and he has to be stopped.
Okay, so what now?
What's our next
what do we
step?
do now?
As a Spectre, he's virtually untouchable. We need to find some way to expose him.
And, like, the way I feel about Udina now is how I felt playing it the first time. I hate this guy.
That's
and
right. He was asking for
just,
more time to finish his report. Seems like he was close to finding
and I
something
can
of
say, going into Mass Effect 3 and finding out what he did, no surprise. None. None whatsoever, because this guy is a slimy greaseball who doesn't care about anybody but himself.
Any idea where we could find him?
I have a contact in CSEC who can help us track Garrus down. His name is Harkin.
Forget it. They suspended Harkin last month, drinking on the job. I won't waste my time with that loser.
You won't have to. I don't want the Council using your past history with
No,
Saren
of course,
as an
here we go
excuse
again.
to ignore anything we turn up. Shepard will handle this.
Like, what personally did Anderson do to Udina that Udina wants to stonewall him this much? Like, even if he believes that Anderson did screw up on his mission with Saren, like, you have to be professional. You have to put that aside, and no matter how you personally feel about it, you have to ask, is there anything he's done in a professional setting to me, to the Council, that warrants me being this aggressive, this hostile with him? And the case is no. Udina's just being an ass. Like,
You can't just cut Captain Anderson out of this investigation.
yeah, like, seriously, he
ambassador's
deserves so
right.
much better.
I need to step aside.
I mean, if that's how you feel, that's how you feel, bud, and I'll respect that, but... Can I shoot this guy in the head? Like,
Harkin's probably getting drunk at Cora's den.
I'm gonna save
It's
us
a
all the
billiard club
trouble.
in the lower section of the wards.
I thought you said he was a drunken loser.
Couldn't hurt to go talk to him.
Okay.
Just be careful. I wouldn't call him reliable.
I mean, that's, yeah, okay. Understood. We got
Maybe
any
there's
other
another way to
leads?
find evidence against Saren.
You should talk to Barla Vaughn over in the
Okay.
financial
I mean, we met him last
Rumor has it he's an
episode, so
agent for the
we'll
Shadow Broker.
touch up
The
with
Shadow
him.
Broker?
An information dealer. Buys and sells secrets to the highest bidder. I've heard Barla Vaughn's one of the top representatives.
Oh, of course he
might know
is.
something about Saren, but his information won't come cheap.
Of course not.
Tell me more about the Shadow Broker.
He's a necessary evil of galactic politics.
Or
Buying
she,
and selling
or
information
they.
is a part of the game. And the Shadow Broker just happens to be the best player on the field. Always sells to the highest bidder. Doesn't get involved in politics. Doesn't pick sides. A
Okay.
simple system, but it works. He's not a threat to anyone, not directly. He's just a resource we can use, or she is. Or maybe they are. Nobody really knows.
Interesting. Alright, what about the castle?
Our ambassador doesn't seem to get along with the Council.
Yeah, well, he's just
frustrated.
he's an ass in the first
Council's
place.
always preaching that we need to be part of the galactic community. But for them, it's a one-way street.
I mean...
They want us to expand and settle unstable regions like the Skillian Verge and the Attican Traverse. But when we run into trouble, they don't want to help us out.
Yeah, but how
Everyone
much...
knows it's only a matter of time until we get a seat on the council.
Have we really
ambassador
earned
just thinks
their
it should happen
respect?
sooner
I mean,
rather
we've
than
kind of...
And I agree.
I mean, have we really earned it? Like, we've kind of bull rushed our way in. Like, we've heard, like, we've gotten special treatment, we've gotten the embassy faster than any other species on record, so we are kind of just, like, forcing our way in. And, like, respect is earned. You have to give respect to gain respect, and knowing humanity, we haven't given the respect. I can imagine we've gone in there and been like, hey, we need this, you need to do it for us, and they're like, we've done this a long time, you don't get to make these demands, there's protocols you have to follow, and humans being arrogant by nature are like, well, we don't have time for protocol, we have to do this, and because we're right, and you don't understand what's going on, and like, so, I mean, how much of it is our
Maybe
fault?
they'd let us join the council if we were more willing to cooperate with the other species.
Of course they would. If we did everything they told us to, they'd love to have
I'm
us
not saying it that way, but like, I guarantee we're not, like, trying to get along with everybody
they don't want us
else.
dominating the council. It's founded on cooperation and alliances.
Right.
But we have to look out for our own interests too.
I mean, that is a fair point. I mean, we do have to look out for our interests, but we can't put our interests ahead of everybody else and sacrifice the good of everybody else. Like, one thing humanity's really bad at is numerical sacrifice. And what I mean by that is it's the superhero complex, right? You have 500 people here that are going to die, and you have 5,000 over here that are going to die. Which do you sacrifice? Logistically and strategically, you sacrifice the 500 for the 5,000. Very simple. You keep the most alive possible. If you have to sacrifice 500 people to save 5,000, you do that. But humanity can't do that because humanity has the God complex, right? Humanity wants to save everybody, and that is statistically, logically, environmentally, situationally impossible. You have to make sacrifices. So, like, you can't put everybody, all these other species, these other trillion whatever other species, not species, but individuals, below yourself and say, screw you, deal with it yourself, I'm taking care of me, because that's how you get wars, that's how you get infighting, and that's how you create an environment that doesn't last and doesn't have cooperation. It's because everybody's thinking of themselves only.
You don't think much of Harkin.
The guy joined CSEC about 20 years ago. He's been an embarrassment to our species ever since.
Amen.
Roughing up suspects in custody, bribery accusations, alcohol and drug use. The embassy used to step in when he got in trouble. But I guess enough was enough.
Okay.
The guy's a scumbag. He should have been cut loose a long time ago.
Yeah, really,
he
is.
was one of the first human CSEC officers. Guess it would have looked bad if he got fired. A lot of backroom deals were worked out over the years to keep him on the force.
Who cares?
Politics
he was the
is a dirty
first
business sometimes.
human CSEC agent.
Like
who cares?
We've
the
got
guy
enough
was an
humans in
asshole.
CSEC now to
Again,
stop protecting.
there's the issue. Like, oh, we can't get rid of him because he's the first human CSEC agent, but he's making CSEC as a whole look bad. Like, you cut him loose. He's making all of CSEC look bad. Get rid of him. It doesn't matter that he's human. Didn't matter if he was Quarian, or Turian, or Solarian. Like, cut him loose. Like, I'm not... I don't want to sound like I hate humans, but again, we let our biases get in the way and can't make the practical decisions. I mean, sometimes you need that emotional, but, like, you also have to think, how's it going to affect everybody else? How's it going to make everybody else look? That's all I'm saying. Like, I don't hate humanity on an individual-to-individual basis, but some of these existential ideals that we're trying to enforce, when they're clearly the wrong one,
I want to know more about the Spectres.
They're not your typical government agency.
It's not the smartest thing to do. That's all I'm saying.
They take care of problems the Council can't. It's not easy preserving peace across an entire galaxy. The Council prefers to use diplomacy and negotiation. But sometimes more extreme measures are needed.
Ooh.
What's their command structure like?
There is no command structure. Each Spectre answers directly to the Council. Sometimes they're sent on specific missions. Other times, they act on their own.
Okay.
They tend to operate outside the law, do whatever it takes to accomplish their
That was
goals.
so weird.
The Council just turns a blind eye.
It's like it
Spectres have
dropped.
a lot of power, Shepard.
How do they decide who becomes a Spectre?
You can't just apply to join.
Yeah, that was weird.
There's no training program. Spectres aren't made.
They're born.
They're born. The Council's always looking for exceptional individuals. People who can get the job done. Like you. They've been watching you for years. They see something in you. They want you on their side. Nihilus was supposed to give them a final recommendation.
I'll do them
Then
proud.
gone. Things are still up in the air.
What happens when a Spectre goes rogue? Like Saren?
It doesn't happen often. The Council is careful when they select their candidates. But when something does go
Oh, I wonder if they're trying
there's
to
usually
imitate
only one
spatial
solution.
audio.
Send another Spectre to bring the rogue agent down.
They sound like shadow operatives.
Everything about them is classified. We don't even know how many there are.
Because it seems
The
to
latest
happen when
alliance
it goes
estimate puts their
out
numbers
further.
under 100.
So I wonder if
But the
they're trying
Council
to
couldn't do
create
its job without
that
them.
sense that
They're the Citadel's top
you have a
agents,
mic there
the
and you're
last line
further
of
away,
defense,
so it's
the
not
final
catching
option
as much
before
of it.
open war. The entire galaxy respects and fears them. If a Spectre shows up, you know something big is about to happen.
Alright, that's everybody.
I should go.
Good luck, Shepard. I'll be over in the ambassador's office if you need anything else.
Alright, thanks, Anderson. Sorry you got screwed again. Alright, so let's head on out. So what do we... Shadow Broker, Garrus, and Saren. Alright, an agent for the Shadow Broker named Barla might be able to provide you with more information about Saren. And go to Cora's den in the lower wards and speak with Harkin, a CSEC agent who might know where Garrus can be found. And then find proof against Saren. So, I think we'll go to Barla. What are you doing?
Guy's up to something.
What guy?
The
This
one
guy.
by the keeper.
This guy, Caden. What are you doing? You got yourself...
What?
Excuse me, sir.
No, I wasn't. Never mind.
What are you doing to that keeper?
Yes, is there something you want?
Yeah, I'd like to know what
Why
you're
are you
doing.
so interested in the Keepers?
Keepers? I've got no interest in the...
Don't get coy.
We
I
know what
I
we saw. Exactly.
I'm not so sure I should be talking to you about this.
Just
I
tell
mean,
me what you're doing.
we're just
I'm not here to
talking,
get you
right?
into
There's
trouble.
nothing to worry
All right.
about.
I guess it wouldn't hurt to tell you. I'm using a small scanner to gather readings on the Keepers.
Okay.
So far I've had mixed results. I find it difficult to get near the creatures.
Why were you being so secretive about it, though?
Well, technically we're not supposed to disturb the Keepers.
Yeah.
I don't really think my scanning disturbs them, but the
It's all a
authorities might
ploy to
disagree.
make sure they keep
I'd
the
like to do it more
secret
openly,
of
but it's not really
of
worth
what
getting
their
arrested over.
real purpose is.
I could help you out. I'm not worried about the authorities.
I don't even know who you are.
I'm Commander Shepard, with the Alliance military.
Well, I suppose I could use the help.
I love
Let me
his
guess.
eyes, dude.
It's the scanning device I developed.
So cool.
Activated each time you see a Keeper, all collected data will automatically upload to my database. I'll even send a few credits your way for each unique scan.
Huh?
What
What do
doing
you
with
hope
the
to
data
get
once
out
you
of this?
scan it?
Trying to learn whatever I can about the Keepers. We see them working everywhere, yet we know so little about them. I'm a scientist. I want to know what makes them tick.
Alright.
I should get going then.
Yes.
Makes sense.
I have much work myself.
I mean, if he could have figured it out, it
So
could have
long,
saved a whole
and
lot
good
of
luck with the
trouble.
Scanning.
Oh. Scan the Keepers. Kahoku.
No, I haven't spoken to him before. This is the first time I've requested an audience.
Boop boop.
Yeah, I'll wait. Doesn't seem like I have much choice.
Oh, poor Kahoku.
Maybe. But I wouldn't believe everything you hear.
That's just it. I'm hearing it everywhere. It's not just isolated rumors.
Do you really think so?
Another one. Another one gone, and another one gone, and another one bites the dust. I can't help it, dude. Just, you know, just songs in real life. Wait. I went down, down, down.
Ignored all the evidence against Saren.
Saren's one of their best operatives. It's only natural they take his word over ours.
Yeah, and seeing as we're new.
So now we just chase leads while this smug Turian runs around with his Geth troopers.
That's politics, Chief.
I hate politics.
You and me both, Ash. You and me both. But, I mean, we're not in politics. We don't get a say in it. I mean, we just gotta grit our teeth and bear with it as best as we can. There's one there. Please do not scan the Keeper. You, up, she. There it is. I was waiting for it. Oh, we've got... Okay. Here we go. Alright, let's see what these guys are arguing about. Excuse me, sir, what's going on?
Hanar refuses to listen to reason. Why can't it act in an orderly and lawful manner?
We don't really know what's going on, so I can't say be more open-minded. What's the problem?
Are there laws being broken here?
I am not unreasonable. The Hanar is free to spew its nonsense once it purchases an evangelical permit.
Why? Why does it need a permit?
Behind the evangelical permits?
Forcing religious evangelicals to register for a permit weeds out undesirables. It keeps the area safe. The Citadel is too important to become a battleground for a religious war.
Interestingly, it says forcing them, not... It doesn't say requiring them to have a permit. He says forcing them to have a permit. So it almost seems like they know they shouldn't be doing this, because this would actually be a violation of your... I don't know how it works with the Citadel and all that, but it would be a violation of your constitutional rights for freedom of religion and freedom of speech. Again, I don't know how it works on Citadel. I mean, we're talking about an international playing field here, so...
So if the Hanar gets a permit, it's allowed to preach?
But, I mean...
No. Registered evangelicals must follow regulations. There are specific areas where preaching is legal. Failure to follow the regulations results in the forfeiture of the license.
So basically you're trying to enforce religious practice within sanctioned areas so that the whole of the community doesn't have to listen to what you deem as incorrect religious representation. Right? I mean, that's basically what you're getting at.
If you can't solve this problem, you don't even deserve to be in Seasick.
I didn't ask for your help, human. I can deal with this myself.
Do you desire to learn of the Enkindlers? Or has the Honorable CSEC officer enlisted assistance?
Oh, don't worry, I'm not taking this trouble.
Why is the CSEC officer harassing you? The CSEC officer requests that this one purchase an evangelical permit to spread the truth of the Enkindlers.
I'd like to help.
Let me talk to the CSEC officer. Perhaps I can explain the situation. This one would be most grateful for the assistance. Please let...
How can I convince my
sorry,
superior that I deserve a promotion if I cannot convince this annoying jelly to leave? I am not unreasonable. The Hanar is free to spew its nonsense once it purchases an evangelical permit.
Yeah, let the Hanar
I think
talk.
you should let the Hanar preach in the Presidium.
The Presidium is a place of culture and respect. It should not be filled with zealots shouting their idiocy. Why should the jellies get
Gee,
special
that
treatment?
sounds familiar.
Every other species understands and obeys the laws.
Isn't that what you're doing? You're spewing your own nonsense, trying to enforce rules that you think should be followed? Like, I mean... Seems kind of hypocritical to me.
If I purchased the evangelical permit myself, would that take care of things?
Which you can't, so I'm gonna have to come back.
Areas once it has the
I
permit,
don't know why
yes,
I don't...
that would solve the issue for me.
I'll be back.
I don't care what you have to do. Just get rid of that Hanar.
Oh, no, I'm gonna get rid of you. I don't know why I don't have necessary... keepers. So I'm gonna have to come back to them so I can tell that guard off. Cause, like, seriously, you're gonna try to dictate where the Hanar can talk about the Enkindlers? Like, you don't have the right to that. I mean, I get you're enforcing Citadel, the Citadel, and trying to keep peace, but I mean, like, nobody's even around, and it doesn't seem like he's causing an issue. He's asking if people want to hear about it, so I mean, he seems like he's doing it in a peaceful manner, as opposed to just trying to shove it down everybody's throats. All right, where... I remember. I passed it. It's alright.
Is there anything I can do for you today, Commander?
I've heard you work for the Shadow Broker. Do you have any information about Saren?
You're very blunt, Shepard. But you're right. I am an agent for the Shadow Broker. And I do know something about Saren.
Alright, what exactly do you know?
I hear your information can be expensive.
Normally, this information would cost a small fortune. But these
How
are
convenient.
exceptional circumstances. So I am going to give it to you for free.
Oh, that's nice. What's the catch? Yeah, exactly. Thanks,
There
Ash.
is no catch. The Shadow Broker is quite upset with Saren right now. They used to do a lot of business, until Saren turned on him.
That's what happens when you deal with a traitor like Saren.
No matter what you think of Saren, he's not stupid. He knows the Shadow Broker is a valuable ally. Turning on him doesn't make sense. Not unless something huge was at stake. I
Like
don't
the
know
Reapers?
the details, but the Shadow Broker hired a freelancer to deal with it. A Krogan mercenary.
Okay.
How do I find him?
I heard he was paying Citadel security a visit. If you hurry, you can probably catch him before he leaves the CSEC Academy.
Isn't it strange that a Krogan would want to speak with CSEC?
Very. However, I doubt the visit was entirely his choice.
Yeah, probably.
You'll need to speak with him if you want to know more.
Thanks for the info.
My pleasure, Commander.
Right, so we have Wrex to go after. A Krogan bounty hunter named Erdnot Wrex might be able to help you against Saren. I'd go for Wrex. I'm pretty sure it doesn't matter which way I do this in, so...
The Krogan evolved in a hostile and vicious environment. Until the invention of
I say
gunpowder
hostile,
weapons,
but alright.
eaten by predators was still the #1 cause of Krogan fatalities. Afterwards, it was death by gunshot.
I mean, makes
When the
sense, seeing
Solarians
as that
discovered
they're
them, the
prey
Krogan
species.
were a brutal, primitive species, struggling to survive a
Not
self-inflicted
predators.
nuclear winter. The Solarians culturally uplifted them, teaching them to use and build modern technology, so they could serve as soldiers in the Rachni War. Liberated from the harsh conditions of their homeworld, the quick-breeding Krogan experienced an unprecedented population explosion. They began to colonize nearby worlds. Even though these worlds were already inhabited, the Krogan rebellions lasted nearly a century, only ending when the Turians unleashed the Genophage, a Solarian-developed bioweapon that crushed all Krogan resistance. The Genophage makes only 1 in 1,000 pregnancies viable.
We need to talk
Today,
about that.
The Krogan are a slowly dying breed. Understandably, the Krogan harbor a grudge against all other species, especially the Turians.
I mean, they should really harbor a grudge against the Solarians, because I think it's kind of funny when you talk to Mordin in Mass Effect 2. Again, I stop giving spoilers, it's been out long enough. When you talk to Mordin in Mass Effect 2, you see how much Solarians actually hate the Krogans. Which is funny and ironic, considering how the Solarians' only reason for uplifting the Krogan is to use them as weapons of war, and then, when they were done with the Krogan, and the Krogan were expanding, the Solarians knew this going in, how fast the Krogan breed, and decided to uplift them, knowing that this could pose a problem, and said, screw it, we're going to uplift them to use them as weapons of war. And then, when the Krogan needed more homes, the Solarians, knowing that they were going to need more homes, said, we can't have this, so now we're going to make them sterile and inflict that upon them. So the Krogan should really hate the Solarians over everybody else, not the Turians. And it's funny that the Solarians hate the Krogan so much when they literally use them as weapons of war and then neutered them. I mean, that's just, it's always weighed on me, like, how hypocritical they're being of the Krogan.
The second species to join the Citadel, the Solarians are warm-blooded amphibians with a hyperactive metabolism. Solarians think fast, talk fast, and move fast. To Solarians, other species seem sluggish and dull-witted. Unfortunately, their metabolic speed leaves them with a relatively short lifespan.
I mean, that makes sense.
Solarians over the age of 40 are a rarity.
I mean, their whole biology would move faster,
species,
so they'd burn through their natural reserves of energy faster.
They were also behind the creation of the Genophage,
which means they'd have to eat a lot more.
The Turians used to quell the Krogan rebellions several centuries later. Solarians are known for their observational capability and non-linear thinking. This manifests as an aptitude for research and espionage. They are constantly experimenting and inventing, and it is generally accepted that they always know more than they are letting on.
I just talked about this. It says it right there. Non-linear thinking. They knew about the Krogans. They knew they bred fast. They knew what would happen if they were uplifted to where they could expand and they bred fast. Yet they still think it's the Krogan's fault. Really makes you wonder how the galaxy perceives the Solarians as the better species, when in turn, it's really the Solarians' fault for the Krogan rebellions, not the Krogan themselves. Which we can't get to, so I only need to... Alright, we'll take the rapid transit, just save a little bit of time. And we'll work our way down to... nope, that's not what I want. Come on, there you go. Shoot. Maybe not. Alright, I'm gonna have to... I have to find my way to... Embassies and CSEC. Whoops, that's not what I wanted. CSEC Academy down this way. We'll go get Wrex first. We'll switch it up a little bit. Usually always get Garrus first. I'll get Wrex first and then see.
In light of the recent attack on Eden Prime,
there we go.
many
Didn't take too long.
investors are pulling their support for future projects. Proponents of expanded human colonization insist that Eden Prime was an isolated case. Nevertheless, colonist enrollment has dropped sharply.
I mean,
many colonial proposals
makes
are on
sense.
hold until backers have some reassurance that human colonies will be adequately protected.
I mean, you can never assure that everything's gonna be okay. Here he is. There's our guy.
Witnesses saw you making threats in Fist's bar. Stay away from him.
I don't take orders from you.
This is your only warning, Wrex.
You should warn Fist. I will kill him.
You want me to arrest you?
I want you to try.
Just in case.
Get out of here.
Yes, human.
I'm trying
looking
to bring
for
down
some help.
Saren. Barla Vaughn said to talk to you.
Barla Vaughn is a wise man. We may share a common goal, human.
Enlighten me.
I've been hired to kill the owner of Korra's den, a man named Fist. He did something very foolish.
He betrayed the Shadow Broker.
A Quarian showed up here on the Citadel. She was on the run. She wanted to trade information for a safe place to hide, so she went to Fist. He promised to arrange a meeting
again, just in case.
The Shadow Broker. Instead, he contacted Saren.
What does Saren have to do with this?
Well, the Quarian has something that connects Saren to the Geth. He paid Fist a small fortune for her.
My favorite.
If we get our hands on that evidence, we can prove that Saren's a traitor.
Yeah, we still gotta get
Garrus.
Garrus.
Have to listen to us.
Where's the Quarian now?
Last I heard, Fist still had her. Probably somewhere inside his club. You help me kill Fist, she's all yours.
I want to know more about your employer.
Can't tell you much. All I got was a coded message with the details of the job. Standard procedure.
What about Garrus, that Turian? He wants to take Saren down too.
Yep.
He might come in handy.
He was here just before you showed up.
Oh.
Said he was going to follow up a lead on his investigation.
Okay.
Wanted to speak to
interesting.
The med clinic.
Move out.
Right. Yeah. Oh, I mean. Alright, so you're gonna... We have combat and tech. Massive combat. And even all around. I do like my evens. Okay, so the tech comes from me. Biotic comes from him. And the combat comes from all of us. I do like having Ash with me. Alright, I'm going heavy into combat. Yep, that's who I'm going with.
Every time I visit the Citadel, C-Sec brings me here for a friendly chat.
A friendly chat.
C-Sec seems more like a military operation than a police force.
I mean, that's, yeah, I don't have any doubt that they use them for military duties as well. I have no doubt.
I'm surprised you're willing to fight Krogan, Wrex. I thought you would stand with your own.
Anyone who fights us is either stupid or on Saren's payroll. Killing the latter is business. Killing the former is a favor to the universe.
I hear you, Wrex. I hear you. Oh. Alright, so now we need to go... Yep, we gotta get Wrex up. So let's, obviously you're gonna want assault rifles. You're gonna want Krogan Battlemaster. And we got 2. I'm gonna do warp and barrier together, so I would say let's go assault rifle and Krogan Battlemaster. Alright, and then we want to go for Garrus. Just went to the med clinic in the upper wards to follow up on a lead on Saren. Oh man, I forgot. That gets rid of Harkin, doesn't it? I wonder if we could still go to I'm gonna try. Let's see if we could go to Harkin still. But I wonder if because Wrex told us. Like I said, I don't usually do it this way. So
driven from their home system by
I love the
Quarians.
They're my favorite.
Most Quarians now live aboard the migrant fleet, a flotilla of 50,000 vessels ranging in size from passenger shuttles to mobile space stations.
Mobile, but all right.
17 million Quarians, the flotilla understandably has scarce resources. Because of this, each Quarian must go on a rite of passage known as the pilgrimage when they come of age. They leave the fleet and only return once they have found something of value they can bring back to their people. Other species tend to look down on the Quarians for creating the Geth, and for the negative impact their fleet has when it enters a system.
I mean,
this has led to many myths
I can
and
see
rumors
that,
about the Quarians,
but they're not.
Including the belief that underneath their clothes and breathing masks, they are actually cybernetic creatures, a combination of organic and synthetic parts.
I mean, I get it, right? Like, you have no idea what they look like, so your mind goes to all these assumptions of what they could look like. I get it, but... The Krogan rebellions. After the Rachni War, the quick-breeding Krogan expanded at the expense of their neighbors. Warlords leveraged their veteran soldiers to seize living space, whilst the Council racers were still grateful. Over the centuries, the Krogan conquered world after world. There was always just one more needed. When the Council finally demanded withdrawal from the Asari colony of Lucia, Krogan Overlord Kredak stormed off the Citadel, daring the Council to take their worlds back. But the Council had taken precautions. The finest STG operatives and Asari huntresses had been drafted into a covert observation force, the Office of Special Tactics and Reconnaissance. The Spectres opened the war with crippling strategic strikes. Krogan planets went dark as computer viruses flooded the extranet. Sabotaged antimatter refineries disappeared in blue-white annihilation. Headquarters stations shattered into orbit-clogging debris, rammed by pre-placed suicide freighters. Still, this only delayed the inevitable. The war would have been lost if not for first contact with the Turians, who responded to Krogan threats with a prompt declaration of war. Being on the far side of Krogan space from the Council, the Turians advanced rapidly into the lightly defended Krogan rear. The Krogan responded by dropping space stations and asteroids on Turian colonies. 3 worlds were rendered completely inhospitable. This was precisely the wrong approach to take with the Turians. Each is first and foremost a public servant, willing to risk his life to protect his comrades. Rather than increasing public wariness, Krogan tactics stiffened Turian resolve. The arrival of Turian task forces saved many worlds from the warlords' marauding fleets. But it took development of the genophage bioweapon to end the war. There were decades of unrest afterwards. Rogue warlords and holdout groups of insurgents refused to surrender or disappeared into the frontier systems to become pirates. Citadel Security Services, CSEC. Citadel Security is a volunteer police service answering to the Citadel Council. The 200,000 constables of CSEC are responsible for maintaining public order in the densely populated Citadel. They also provide pirate suppression, customs enforcement, and search and rescue throughout the Citadel cluster. CSEC has 6 divisions. Enforcement, uniformed officers who patrol the Citadel. Investigation, detectives who puzzle out the truth behind crimes and bring perpetrators to justice. Customs, screens the thousands of passengers and cargo containers that pass through the Citadel's ports. Network, deals with cybercrimes like identity and copyright theft, hacking and viral attacks, and illegal artificial intelligence. Special Response deals with hostage situations, bombs, and heavily armed criminals. In the unlikely event that attackers board the Citadel, they are also the front line of defense, armed with military-grade equipment. Patrol, naval arm, with ships stationed throughout the Citadel cluster. Unlike the other divisions, they are rarely seen at the Citadel, nor do they stay in one place long. Joining CSEC is prestigious. Applications must be sponsored by a Citadel counselor or the ambassador of an associate council race. Generally, applicants have many years of distinguished service in the military or police forces of their nation, but an inexperienced applicant with demonstrable talent will be fairly considered. CSEC and the Spectres are often at odds. Many CSEC members, notably Executor Venari Palin, believe that allowing Spectres to be above the law is a dangerous practice. The actions of Saren Arturus lend credence to this position. The Spectres, in turn, are aggravated when CSEC's dedication to procedure and due process hampers their investigations. Alright, I guess I'll... The ring is an enclosed loop of park-like space serving as the connection point for the wards. The interior walls are lined with the embassies of influential species and private residences for the galaxy's elite. The Presidium is full of open-air restaurants, bars, and luxurious meeting areas. Gravity is about 1/3 Earth normal. A holographic sky is projected over the ceiling of the ring. Unlike the 24/7 bustle of the wards, The Presidium maintains a 20-hour day schedule with a 6-hour night, where lights are dimmed and the sky goes through a night cycle. Offices and residences are often open to the interior. It is not unusual for embassies to have no exterior wall at all. This does not cause a crime problem due to the heavy CSEC presence and ubiquitous monitoring devices on the Presidium. Thieves are quickly identified and apprehended. The ring is the location of the Citadel's spaceports. Being closer to the center of spin, there is less motion for a ship to match, and the reduced spin gravity makes handling cargo easier. Hundreds of ships pass through the Citadel every day, and every species with an embassy is granted a private dock. The tower at the center of the ring holds the administration of the Citadel Council. The tower rises over a kilometer from the ring, appearing to thrust forward parallel to the ward arms. As the tower is at the center of the spin axis, it experiences little centrifugal force. Gravity is maintained using mass effect fields at a 90-degree angle to the ring and wards. A consular dock can be found at the base of the tower. Whilst normally used for diplomatic couriers and Spectre business, the shuttles docked here can evacuate the council government in an emergency. Wards. The majority of the Citadel's population lives in the wards, the 5 massive arms of the station that house the residential and commercial districts. Many galactic races have established cultural enclaves here. Population density and cost of living are extremely high, akin to Earth cities such as Hong Kong and Singapore. The wards are open-topped, with skyscrapers rising from the superstructure. Towers are sealed against vacuum, as the breathable atmosphere envelope is only maintained to a height of about 7 meters. The atmosphere is contained by the centrifugal force of rotation and a membrane of dense, colorless sulfur hexafluoride gas held in place by carefully managed mass effect fields. The view from the wards is spectacular. In the background, stars, Serpent Nebula, and the nearby blue giant called the Widow move across the sky as the station rotates to stabilize itself. In the foreground, the lights of buildings, vehicles, the opposing ward arms perpetually shine. The Citadel has no real day or night, whilst the station keeps to the standard galactic time for political functions. Businesses rarely close and residents acclimate to sleep and work according to personal need rather than a day-night cycle. God, that sounds fantastic. Additions and modifications are constantly being constructed, though they must stay within certain specifications that will not compromise the operation of the station. Occasionally, the keepers will descend on an area of the wards and move or change the architecture without explanation. Residents have learned to live with these inexplicable intrusions. The Treaty of Pharynx. Due to the destructive potential of dreadnoughts, the Council races agreed at the Pharyxian Naval Conference to fix a ratio of dreadnought construction between themselves. At the top of the pyramid is the peacekeeping Taurian fleet. Below the Taurians are the other Council races, currently the Asari and Salarians. Council associate races are at the bottom. The Human Systems Alliance is part of this last group. The ratio of Turian to Council to associate dreadnoughts is 5-3-1. For every dreadnought humans are permitted to build, the Asari have 3 and the Turians 5. Alright, let's go see if I can find Harkon, which is Cora's Den. To the wards we go. We'll come back for those guys.
This about normal for a human soldier's tour of duty, Williams?
Trying to take down a rogue Spectre and his army of synthetics? No, they didn't cover this in basic.
Actually having more conversation than I would have thought they would have. That I usually experience, I'll put it that way.
Do you really think we'll find him down here?
He always stops in for a few games of Quasar before he makes his drop.
Fist is gonna be pissed if we take down his supplier.
That's the point. We want him angry. Angry people make mistakes.
That's right, they do.
Something about Fist that makes me nervous.
Good. He's a dangerous man. Now keep your eyes peeled for our mark.
First time I was here, I dropped a bundle in the casino. Got so mad I put my fist through one of the machines.
That does not surprise me, Wrex.
You can keep the Presidium. This is where the action is.
I mean, yeah. The Presidium, I feel like, is that beautiful facade. Covering what really goes on. Which makes sense, right? I mean, that's going to be the place where people are traveling through the most. It's going to be the place where...
A Solarian excavation team has run into an unexpected problem after unearthing a Prothean dig site. Hanar protesters have blockaded the dig site, claiming that artifacts of the Enkindlers, as the Hanar call them,
so they would obviously want it to seem the most peaceful, the most secure.
Representatives on the Citadel to reach a diplomatic solution.
Alright, let's see if we can talk to Harkon still.
Got a tour. One of 500 to see the Ascension from the inside out.
Really?
Took almost 6 hours and we only saw 1/10 of the ship.
Wow.
I even got to meet the commander.
Matriarch Ladanya. You met her?
Well, she addressed everyone on the tour, but I got pretty close to her.
Huh, just look at that ship. You'd have to be stupid to mess with that.
Was that...
Very true.
With or without permission? Because that makes a big difference.
Hopefully she'll never need to use it.
Hey, I know you. You're Shepard, right? I saw the monument at Akuz.
Did I talk to this guy already?
They got a whole section about you there. It's a miracle you survived.
Looks like you have a fan.
I don't think I did,
sorry,
because
I never thought I'd meet someone like you in person. My name's Lang, Officer Eddie Lang, Citadel Security. It's an honor to meet you, Commander. What are you doing down here in the wards? Anything I can help you with?
Do you know a C-Sec officer named Harkon?
I shouldn't really say too much. He's been on the force a lot longer than me. But
He's
I've
an
heard
ass.
things, you know? Drinking on the job, taking bribes, that kind of thing. Rumors mostly, but they suspended him, so some of it must be true.
What do you know about the Spectre?
I mean, yeah,
Just
that's
the
a
stuff
fair
they show in
point.
the vids. They always make him out to be super agents on secret missions to save the galaxy. I know it's not really like that, though. Some of the other C-Sec guys don't like him too much, figure they shouldn't be able to operate outside the law. But if they were so bad, the Council wouldn't use them, right?
I mean, maybe not. I don't
How do you
want
like
to
working here on the Citadel?
go
This
speculating.
place is amazing. I've been here almost a year, and I still haven't seen a tenth of it. The Presidium's just so beautiful. Good place to go and relax. But I really like it here down in the wards. There's always something going on somewhere. Like that new club they just opened a few months ago, Flux. Wicked scene in there, Commander.
Wicked
you should check it out when
scene.
you have some time.
Maybe I will.
Why'd you join Citadel Security?
I don't know. Seemed like the right thing to do, you know? Maybe it's in my blood. My grandfather was a cop back on Earth. It's kind of what CSEC is. Police for the Citadel.
That's exactly what it is.
So far. Way more
that's
interesting than
exactly what
staying
it
back
is.
on Earth.
Your security
You
for
gotta
the
meet all
Citadel.
kinds of cool aliens, like those Hanar. Wild. Plus, CSEC gets a lot of respect here. We uphold the law. People, even aliens, appreciate that.
I have to
Do
go.
they?
Right. You're probably real busy. Well, see you around, Commander.
Thanks, bud. No, because I didn't get this. Do they respect you? I'm sure they respect some of them, but they can't respect all of them.
Binary Helix has settled out of court with a Krogan group that had accused the Genetics Corporation of fraud. The Krogan group had contracted Binary Helix to perform studies with a long-range goal of curing their genetic sterilization. The group later sued for a return of investment money when the study produced no viable results.
I mean, buyer beware. You can't guarantee that it's... I just came all the way back to freaking CSEC. God. Alright, you know what? Guess we'll find out if I can,
Looks like it's shut down.
Fist knows we're
I'm on it!
Shields disabled.
you guys okay? So, I'm gonna say no, because this is what happens when you go to fist. Whoop, whoop. So no, I cannot. Alright, well, I mean, obviously I don't want to start that before having Garrus, so... I mean, it probably doesn't matter, I could probably do that and then get Garrus, but, like...
People always complain that the rewards are too crowded.
I just locked myself into it.
Problem. Everybody gives me plenty of space.
I just locked myself into it, didn't I? Son of a... Well, I guess I gotta do it, because I just locked myself in.
Stop right there. Don't come any closer.
Warehouse workers. All the real guards must be dead.
Stay back or we'll shoot.
This would be a
You
good time
really
to
want to
find
do
somewhere
this?
else to work.
Yeah, right. That's a good idea.
Yeah, exactly.
I never liked Fist anyway.
You were so
It
adamant
would have been quicker to just kill them.
to die for them.
Wasn't always the answer.
I mean, Wrex thinks it's always the answer, so I mean... Alright, guys. I think I'm gonna leave it here. We'll pick it up in the next episode. So I've locked myself into this, so I'm just hoping... Because I've never done it this way. So I'm just hoping that I can go... get Tali. Then grab Garrus. And it doesn't like kick me off into a whole thing where I don't get Garrus, so we'll see. That's going to be it for this episode. If you guys did enjoy, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell icon to stay up to date with everything this channel has to offer. And as always, keep on gaming.